Hey guys, it's Marta. Welcome to my home. Outside it's freezing cold. It's -5 outside, so I thought I will take you into my house and I will show you how to prepare a Christmas wreath. I will show you step by step how to do it by yourself. You can only use things you will find in your garden, but I will be also incorporating plants that I bought. We'll be making beautiful wreaths. I love doing that just before Christmas. Let's begin. First rule of making wreaths at home is be prepared. First of all, wear clothes that you can make dirty. Always remember that when you're using those kind of plants that have it will leave residue. It will leave residue on your hands, maybe even on your clothes. It's very easy to remove from your skin. Just use a bit of baby oil and just take it off. It will not come off with the soap. Always try to cover all the areas, not to damage them, and be careful not to put it on any kind of material like your chairs or your clothes, or just wear clothes that are safe to destroy. But when you know that and you're prepared, this is a pure pleasure for me. What do you need to make your wreath? First of all, you will need a base. I've gathered 3 types of bases. This one is made from hay, but it's quite heavy. Then another one is also probably made from hay, but it is covered with green tape. If you're making a wreath that is not that dense, it is easier to use something that is green because the hay will not be seen. But my preferred way of making my wreaths is with this metal circle. It is very, very light, very easy to work with, and I prefer this thing to work with. Then you'll need a florist wire. This is a very inexpensive tool to make your wreath, and I think it's indispensable. With bases, you can also make a base from, for example, willow branches or something similar, but I prefer the metal ones. After you're done with your wreath, it is after Christmas and you want this metal one to be still used, you just cut the wire, take all the greens off, and you can use it again, so that is very convenient. Okay, but what about the greens? First of all, I always use greens from my garden. I'm using pines, juniper, different greens, whatever you have in your garden and it is evergreen, you can use it for your wreaths. And just remember about the resin that it will give when you cut, but then when you put it in the wreaths, they look beautiful, especially if you keep your wreath outside. I usually make it at the beginning of December, and we have this wreath until the end of January, so it stays in this cold weather for a really, really long time. I got a lot of questions about how is it that you cut your plants in this weather. We have now -5. Do they survive? Does it make them more susceptible to any kind of diseases? I've been doing that for 10 years and I've been always cutting those plants in winter and I've never had any issues with that, but this is just my experience. Okay, what plants do I have here? This is Himalayan pine, one of my favorite plants in my garden, and it is lovely to use in wreaths. Then we have spruce, and I have blue spruce and a classical green spruce. These are very, very good to use, and I think they are mainly used when they are done by florists in the wreaths. This one is juniper. It has beautiful blue balls and they are very decorative. And this one, I had to check the name in English, and it's called Sawara cypress. I had to check that. This is a beautiful plant that's been growing in my garden for 18 years. It's very well when it's pruned, even severely. Yesterday I went flower shopping. We have this huge place that has all the things florists can need. It is like a big place and everything is there. So what I brought from there is eucalyptus. They did not have my favorite one that I like for wreaths, but this one is also beautiful. The bluish color in the leaves is wonderful, and also the scent of the leaves is magnificent. Then we have ilex. Those leaves are very shiny, they look beautiful in wreaths. I cut them into smaller pieces and I've used them last year and they reacted pretty well with the cold weather we've had. So I'll be using them again this year. Then we have rose hips. These are just beautiful, almost burgundy in color. So I think this is very Christmassy in color. Also, I bought Skimmia, which I love. I love those flowers, I love the scent, I love the leaves, and I think they will go pretty well also with the rosebud, but also with this plant, which name I cannot remember, but if I do remember the name, I will put it in the description of this video, so please check that out later and look at this. This combination of colors I really love. This is slightly greenish, pinkish, but I think it will go so well with all of those purpley, reddish, purple colors. Lovely. Okay, how to prepare to your wreath making so you're efficient and you don't get mad, you don't have something falling apart. It's always good to have a plan. First thing I do, I always cut all of my evergreen pieces to similar sizes. So let's check this here. Here I have my spruce, then I will have my juniper, then we'll have this thing, cypress. Then I will add my Himalayan pine. And now we have a small bouquet. And if you prepare those bouquets earlier, and you'll place them on your working space. Then you'll be making your wreath. You'll be just grabbing one piece by one piece and you will not be distracted with the wreath making. And this is I've done a lot of them and this is a very good way to go that way. Then when you're cutting them, I think it's a good idea to do it a day before if you're cutting them into smaller pieces, because then the resin will not be getting out so much, because it will callus over during the night and it will be easier for you to work with. Then when we are making our bouquets, you can make them all look the same. So you can add also the flowers, everything is the same. So it will be repeating one by one by one. But I always think that the best wreaths need to be a bit whimsical, and if you disrupt the pattern, if the pattern is not the same all the time, I think it's always better. So I try to do something that is uniform, that is repeated, but then I do something different. Sometimes some of the pieces are not exactly the same. I don't go with the ruler. I try to make some of them stick a bit more, be longer, and it will look definitely better in the wreath. If you look at the wreaths that are sold, the cheapest one, they will be very repetitive. And if you look at those in the high-end florist, you will see that they are very, I would say they are whimsical. They are just not as, repetitive. So I think it is a good idea to incorporate into your wreath making. Okay guys, now it's time to get to work. So I'll be making those small bouquets from my evergreens. I will place them on the table and then I will make different the flower ones with some of those leafy evergreens, and I will place them on the other side, and then I will show you how I assemble my wreath. Okay guys, everything is lined up. I did not use the rose hips. Some of them are not that pretty and I think they will look even worse and worse every coming day. So maybe I will choose the best ones and I will just then add them, but they are not in the small bouquets. Everything is prepared. I have my wheel of happiness. I have my base. Okay, when you have your base, the first step is to make a knot with your wire. Always make it after the knot, make it few times around, and always when you're making a wreath, you have to be very, very diligent with your pulling, because all of the plants that you will be wiring around, they are now fresh and they have a lot of water inside them, and when you're making your wreath and then you're putting it on the door or whatever, they will be losing the moisture, and when they are losing the moisture, they are shrinking, and if you don't pull enough, then everything becomes loose and some of the branches can start falling off your wreath. So that is very important to be very diligent with this. Okay, let's start. When I put my first bouquet, let's call it a bouquet, so the first one, always try to point the bushy part of your wreath outside, because the middle of the wreath has to be a hole, and when the hole is not seen, it is not a proper wreath. So always the bushy part outside, but when we'll be adding the new ones, we'll try to cover the base, but never go too much into the inside. Always try to make it look very bushy outside and keep the proper hole inside. When I'm securing bunch after bunch, I always do at least 3 to 4 rounds of the wire. Each time I just pull very, very hard, but with the first one I usually do even 4 or 7. I go through the whole length of the stems, and then I come back to the part where I see all of those greens, and then I take another one. Now I will also take the green one, and the third one will be with the flowers. Okay guys, I'm almost in the middle. Whenever I'm intermingling all of my bouquets, I'm always trying to look what are the spaces when I've put the ones that are with the flowers. So usually I'm putting 2 of the evergreen ones, then I will be putting the flowers. Maybe I will make something just evergreen on the bottom, or on the bottom usually. There on the bottom, it is a good idea to maybe put some pines in, maybe some bells. So I'm trying to make more of the flowery ones, let's call them this, on the top, and on the lower end I think I will make some bells and maybe some ribbon. Okay guys, my hands are sticky icky. So I'm almost done with everything. When I'm going through the last part of the wreath, I will show you, but you will not see me because it is so huge. Look. Oh. Okay, Michael, now can we see it? Mm-hmm. Okay, here is the last part. Try incorporating it under the first batch that you made to your wreath, and this space needs to be hidden. And then when you're working, when you're working with your last one, always make a knot with your wire. As you've seen, I did not cut the wire, not even once. This is all one piece, and you're working with your wire around and around and around, and we cut the wire at the end. You can make a hook with your wire now, but my preference is when I go outside, I see it on my door and I try different positions. I see which part will be the best up and which will be the best down. So I prefer to make my wire, not hook, the loop, after I can see it on my door, which part is best. I do the same with, when I put it on my door, I rough it up, I see if everything is fine. If I don't like some parts, I will cut them off. You can also ruffle up the leaves so they look better. You can always also spray it with those, I think there are special sprays for plants to look better for a longer time. You can spray it with that. and I like to do it on my door, because then I see when it will be, and I know which things I need to do to it. Same with the bells, same with the pines. If you're working with the pines, it's very easy to do, because then you're using same type of wire, and just go around the pines, and then you can just again put it on the wreath. You can also use the hot glue gun, it is also good, but I prefer the hot glue gun for smaller ones, and for bigger pines I prefer the wire. Okay guys, I hope you liked the wreath making crash course. I don't know how to call that. I love doing that. I'm not a professional florist. I'm just a girl who loves doing all those kinds of decorations, and I think there are a lot of you who also like doing this this way. I think this is very easy, and I love showing the process, because I think it will help you make something beautiful, maybe just from your garden. I think this is a very eco-friendly Christmas decorating. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.